I'm going to say, hey, you are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today, the 15-0 New York Giants take on the 0-15 Philadelphia Eagles. Why the Philadelphia Eagles 0-15? Because they suck. Well, and welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here tonight? Thank you. I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Anybody watch the replay of this? Thank you so much. Anybody at all spend a little bit of time out there? Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Feel free to leave something in the comment section or the chat box, whatever you want to call it. I check back and forth now and then. Feel free. I'll try to respond as best and fast as I can. But I had two guys last night. I forgot what their names were. I owe them a lot because I plugged my microphone in and it's working tonight. It wasn't working last night. So I talked for about 15 to 20 minutes. My microphone wasn't working. Then I had two comments, guys, tell me that my microphone wasn't working. So I basically wasted about 15 to 20 minutes going over some stuff and just talking and just, but my microphone works tonight. So I said, anybody at all out there, anybody spending some time with me here tonight, I greatly appreciate it. We got a lot of little things to talk about, all kinds of little things. One of them, I mean, I keep hearing this stuff, of course, you got the Odell Beckham Jr. thing kind of going on. Now there was was it from G-Men HQ? All right, and they got a little, they got some. Makes a little bit of sense here, okay? Because they're talking about, bringing back Odell Beckham and maybe, what kind of contract you gonna, sign him with and all. And one thing they're talking about is it says, this article here, plenty of New York Giants fans out there were beyond fired up when they saw that Odell Beckham Jr. is open to the idea of returning to East Rutherford. Can you imagine OBJ making mind-blowing plays at MetLife Stadium once again? I mean, tell you what, guys, I mean, there nothing would frickin' spark the team more, and than Odell Beckham. I mean, could you imagine him coming back? Remember, Shepard was here, right? He was here. Saquon was his rookie season, right? Remember the offense? The Giants had a nice offense, that year. I mean, I'll tell you what, boy, the stands would be freaking packed. I mean, just to get Odell Beckham out here, it would be incredible to see. They're saying in this article, though teams like the Bills and the Rams, where Beckham suited up to close out the year in 2020, are favored to income. But don't sleep on the G-men. Now, I mean, as I said, imagine the Bills. I mean, and it ain't going to take much, guys. Apparently, according to this article, that's all I'm going by. All right. Could you imagine the Bills getting Odell Beckham Jr.? Wow. Now, the thing is, despite the Giants being strapped for cash, would a one-year deal worth $2 million be enough to bring home Beckham? And they say potentially. Keep in mind that Beckham signed only a $1.25 million deal with LA. All right, after he had his divorce from the Browns, with Beckham coming off his torn ACL, $1 from Joe Shane and New York seems pretty darn reasonable. So, but let's not keep in mind, all right. If you have to get a few million, right? That possibly releasing Darius Slayton, okay? That would save up about $2.5 million because Darius Slayton, is going to make about $2.5 million this year, all right? So if we let him go, possibly, maybe, might be enough money to bring Odell Beckham Jr. Be very, very interesting. I mean, could you imagine what, Kafka and Daniel can pick up? Right. I mean, if we can get Daniel Jones a pocket, if you got, could you imagine Shepard, Saquon, Kadarius Toney, if he wants to play football. Wan'Dale Robinson, Odell Beckham Jr. running around out. Could you imagine those guys, those 5 guys running around out there? Holy cow. But they also point in this article here, the man simply can't stay 100% healthy for a long period of time, which is true. I mean, it's the same thing with Shepard. Shepard's coming back, and I hate being, negative Nancy here, but how long is it going to be before, Shepard gets hurt again? I hope we don't. Hope he never gets hurt ever again. But, if history's any, any indication, he's going to get hurt again. And, it's the same thing with Odell. He couldn't even make it through the Super Bowl, unfortunately. But they won. He got himself a Super Bowl ring, so I'm very, very happy for him. But, I mean, I'll tell you what, boy, man, that would be absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible if we were to wind up you can get Odell Beckham Jr. back in here. Now, they got the practice they had today, came obviously after, they had they joined practice with the Jets. We got Sunday coming around, be the final preseason game, and then in 2 weeks, guys, right, we got to have regular season starts, all right? So I got this article here from Giants.com, all right? 5 things we learned from training camp. All right. The Giants continue their preparation for this weekend's preseason finale against the Jets with another card practice. This came one day after the 2 teams participated in a joint practice. An experience that pleased head coach Brian Daboll. Thought it was a productive practice yesterday with the Jets, said the head coach. I thought we got a lot accomplished. It's good to see another colored jersey, guys going against different skill sets, the competitiveness. I thought we practiced the right way. Jets head coach Robert Saleh and his team did a fantastic job, and we tried to reciprocate it. We got a lot out of it. It was good work. Running back Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney spoke to the media, and here's what we learned. All right. Azeez is a day-to-day injury scare, which is really good because, well, I mean, not that he got injured, but if he's day-to-day, we still have well over 2 weeks before the first game of the season. Hope we'll be there for that. I mean, we'd like to have our top sack producer from last season, on the field if possible. I know the Giants got a bit of a scare toward the end of Thursday's practice when second-year outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari went down with an injury running a sprint. I have such a hard time, really, such a hard time grasping some of these injuries that, I mean, Thibodeau already sidelined for the time being. The Giants could ill afford to lose Ojulari for an extended period of time. Because let's not forget, Ellison Smith, he's not there, right? And if we lose Azeez, I think Jihad Ward, Ellison Smith, Kayvon Thibodeau, at one point in time, that was a unit. I don't want to say luxury, but I mean, we were looking decent. I mean, you got Azeez and you got Kayvon Thibodeau, and then you got a bunch of guys behind him that could, come in and step in there, help with some pressure. I mean, now all of a sudden, after a few weeks of training camp, it's like, who's going to start? Coach Daboll announced to the media Friday morning that Ojulari avoided a major issue, and the linebacker will take it day to day before they determine where he might be able to return. Anytime he goes on an injury report that it may or not be, I think that you're always happy as a coach, said Daboll. But he'll be day to day. We'll just keep on grinding him through. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's simply unbelievable the injuries the Giants wind up having. But it is what it is. It's the New York Giants. Anyway, all right. So what we got here? All right, next is Shep's return provides a boost. Giants received great news Wednesday morning when it was announced veteran Sterling Shepard had passed his physical and was activated off the physically unable to perform list. Shepard suffered the injury against the Cowboys in Week 15 last year. Wednesday's practice was the first one in which Shepard was able to participate in some team drills. Shepard's return provided a welcome boost to not only the wide receiver room or offense, but the entire team. 29-year-old is the longest tenured Giant, drafted in 2016, now entering his 7th season with the team, which is, I mean, you start thinking about it. I mean, the way the Giants don't, haven't been resigning their draft picks, okay? Guy on the team, 7 seasons, freaking remarkable. It was clear that Shepard's presence was a welcome sight for everyone on the roster. And Xavier McKinney said, it feels great, he said about Shepard's return. When he got hurt and I talked to him, I told him how much I looked up to him, how much he meant to us as a team, and how much he meant to me as a leader on this team. It was great to have him back. His energy is like no other. He brings a great energy, a great spirit every day. He's just one of those guys you just love to be around. So definitely good to see him back out there moving like himself. So, and then Saquon said, to see him back on the field brought a smile on my face, Saquon said. It actually hurt me when he got hurt in that game. I remember the play, and I was like, oh, man, it can't be. It can't be. But to see all the work he put in and finally get back on the field, it was just a matter, it'll just make the offense better. Oh, absolutely. You knock on wood, boy, he doesn't get hurt again. I mean, because some guys that's all they do. But I mean, we're a little weak, obviously, in the tight end position. Okay. But, we got a decent amount of, between Saquon and the wide receivers we got, if we can ever get them all on the field at the same time, right? But, I'm not saying we got a top 5 wide receiving corps, but, we got some players out there, okay? So, as I said, hopefully Shep can stay healthy. And it's going to be another interesting, like for him, what do the Giants want to do with him moving forward after this season? So it's the same thing like with Saquon, Shepard, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will wind up writing his own ticket. If he balls out, I really don't think they have much of an option. Sign the man, okay? But I'm saying, but like same thing with Saquon. With Saquon, it's going to wind up being coming to money, plain and simple. Even if he balls out this season, say he gets another 2,000 total scrimmage yards, like his rookie season, 1,300 rushing, 700 receiving, has over 2,000 yards. It's going to come down to money. If he's going to want $15 million, I don't think the Giants are going to sign him. I think they have other pressing needs. They have guys coming up who are going to want contract extensions and the like. And then also the Giants, going to need to, obviously sign the draft class, but they're going to, want to maybe bring in maybe a little goodie bag here or there as far as a free agent, right? Maybe make a little big splash on maybe one guy or so or whatever. So I don't see the Giants going hog wild crazy trying to bring back Saquon Barkley. If they can get it from, I'm just saying, $10 million a year, okay. On 15, 16, 17 million, I don't know who's going to sign him, especially with this history of getting injured. But I mean, if he can keep it, single digits or maybe 10, so it's a possibility. But anything way over that, no, I don't see him bringing him back. So it'd be very interesting to see. But I mean, the Giants got themselves some weapons, definitely. I got Xavier McKinney stepping up as a leader. So he's becoming a more and more of a leader, more and more vocal as time goes by. So that's good to see because it apparently that he's going to be the leader of the pack, especially if they don't want to re-sign Blake Martinez, they want to let him go. Somebody's got to be the leader, and looks like that might be Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney emerged as one of the key players on the defense last season. The safety out of Alabama not only led the team with 5 interceptions, but he was also among the league leaders. He added 10 pass breakups, 93 total tackles, 59 solo, and 1 defensive touchdown. which actually helped beat wind up winning the game in a way against the Raiders, because we beat the Raiders by 7, and had the pick 6 there, so that was huge. 23-year-old safety who overlapped with Dable at Alabama during his freshman season has also taken a big step in his development as a leader this year, according to his coach. I think for a young player, he has no problem speaking up, Dable said about the third-year safety. He's a good communicator. He knows the defensive system well. I think he does a great job, not just with the defensive backs, but communication with the linebackers, the front guys, the offense. He said he's really been a pleasure to be around. So, he's got to be one of those guys. I said, hopefully we sign Sexy Dexter, right? If we sign, hopefully maybe Azeez, Kayvon Thibodeau. Hopefully those guys can stay healthy. Dexter's had no problem whatsoever staying healthy. I said we got Xavier McKinney, right? So you start to get, I don't know what we're going to do with Adoree Jackson, right? When his time is up, are we going to re-sign him to another big contract, But, we're starting to get some pieces to the puzzle, right? I said if each year you can add another piece or two or whatever to the puzzle, hopefully, like Beavers comes back next year. Hopefully he can be a piece to the puzzle. Maybe Micah McFadden can be a piece to the puzzle. We'll have to wait and see. But, when it's time for him, because this is his third season, right? There is no fifth-year option on him because he's not a first-round pick, second-round pick. So somewhere along the line, I can't say maybe it won't be maybe this year, but we're looking at next year. Somewhere along the line, they're gonna want to maybe ink him to a nice long deal. Add another 4 or 5 years onto 3-4 years onto his contract right now. So they got to start doing something. The Giants says also that the Giants are ready for the season. And which also kind of talking about offensively too as well. It's been exactly 1 month since the veterans officially reported to Quest Diagnostic Training Center for the beginning of training camp. In that time, the Giants have significantly ramped up their intensity in preparation for the start of the regular season. The Giants emerged victorious in their first 2 preseason games. 2-point win over the Patriots, 23-21, and a 3-point victory over the Bengals, 25-22. Brian Dable's squad not only won that games, but they also won the time of possession and the total yards by a large margin. Okay, and both won. Giants won the time of possession and outgained each opponent, 418-308 versus New England. All right, and 423-271. All right, 150 yards more than the Bengals did. Between all the training camp practices, meeting, and preseason games, the Giants feel prepared for the upcoming start of the season in a little over 2 weeks. Now, now gain those other two, and it's just preseason, don't get me wrong, but it's a good sign. I would rather outgain somebody by 150 yards than to be outgained 150 yards. And they won the time of possession, both games as well. Now, with the banged up offensive line, banged up wide receivers, this, that, and the other thing, and you're actually outgaining your opponent, not bad. Now, it's also not forgetting, the other team did not start their starters. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, too. All right, so McKinney, I think we're ready. I think we've done a great job of getting prepared, making sure that we're conditioned, tightening up the little things as far as play and things like that. I think the coaches have done a great job of this, helping us get prepared and be ready for the season. So now, obviously, we've got another game. So let's play the game and get on to the regular season. Yeah, oh yeah. Before you freaking know it, guys, we'll be in Tennessee. Injury updates. There are no official injury reports for preseason. Okay, but Dable announced in the morning that the following players would not be suiting up for Sunday's preseason finale: Sterling Shepard, C.J. Board, and then we got the plethora of offensive linemen: Shane Lemieux, Joshua Zudu, Ben Bredesen, Garrett McGinn, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, Ellerson Smith, and possibly Jihad Ward too. So, you got 4 offensive linemen, Looks like 4 outside linebackers, edge rushers. Rodarius Williams, Dean Belton, and kicker Graham Gano. Also, apparently looks like shocking. I know, hard to believe. Darius Toney is questionable for the game. Hard to believe. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely, and Darius Slayton might be questionable for the game as well too, which is kind of odd, him being questionable because he may not even wind up making the final 53. Dable told reporters that Shane Lemieux, okay, probably will not be ready for the season. So let's see. Last season, he played the first quarter against the Broncos, missed the whole rest of the season. Now here, won't be ready probably for week 1. Hopefully, maybe week 2, maybe week 3. We'll see. But it doesn't matter, if how much you like a guy. Heard this, so many times, your best ability, availability. And if he's not available, it doesn't matter, if they like you, what kind of attitude you have, this, that, the other thing, what kind of teammate you are. If you can't play, it's a business, guys, So, and then additionally, okay, Gano missing Sunday's game due to concussion. The Giants signed Ryan Santoso. Guys sound familiar? That's because he was on our roster. He spent the 2020 campaign with the Giants before bouncing around with a couple of teams last season. Wide receivers Travis Toivonen. Sound familiar? Yep. He was also brought back exactly 1 month after the team released him. I mean, there's guys like Toivonen, Sills, Board, Bachman, guys like that have been, bouncing, not on different teams, but they've been with the Giants, for multiple years, trying to latch on, I mean, obviously the Giants wide receiver depth is really taking a hit, so we'll have to wind up waiting and see what Toivonen, if he winds up making. I don't see he's not making the final 53, but maybe he might wind up catching on the practice squad. Who knows? But then we got the Giants, okay. They brought back Andrew Adams, the safety, who was a former Giant. Okay, will apparently be a brief one. After signing with the Giants on July 26th, exactly 1 month ago, all right, Adams, who spent, they released him. The Giants released him after 1 month. Adams, 2016 and 2017 seasons with the Giants, okay, is being released. Jordan Manon is joining the Giants. Want to go young at safety. And, I mean, that's great, but, they're also behind Love and Xavier McKinney. They're a little, I mean, like I say, they're young, but you also maybe like to have a little bit of experience back there as well, too. So they're letting him go because he's old. Okay. All right. But apparently they're also, Trenton Thompson had a sack, and we've only had 2 sacks so far in the first 2 preseason games. Trenton Thompson's got 1 of them. But apparently what Jordan Renan is saying here is that the Giants have been impressed by the play of undrafted free agent Trenton Thompson. This decision also an indication, which is nice, okay, that the 4th-round pick, Dean Belton, broken collarbone, might be back before the regular season begins September 11th in Tennessee. So, so that's a plus. It'd be nice to see him come back too. I mean, with Beavers and Belton, I mean, the guys being injured, having nice camps and getting injured. Belton, don't forget, will hopefully be back first week or second week. All right. Adams also spent the last 4 seasons with the Bucs. All right. So his release leaves Belton, Thompson, undrafted free agent Yusuf Corker, and Nate Manners as the reserves behind Xavier McKinney and Julian Love. I mean, we don't have a boatload of experience back there. All right. All right. So, I mean, you can let them go saying they're trying to get young, but it's also nice to have a little bit of experience back there. But that is what it is. That's what they did. So Adams is no longer here. All right, he's gone. And you got Adams entered the league as an undrafted free agent out of UConn, signing with the Giants following the 2016 NFL draft. Right. He was with the Bucks. He was with the Lions. He was with the Eagles. In 87 career games, Adams recorded 190 tackles, 4 quarterback hits, 2 forced fumbles, 23 passes defense, and 7 interceptions. Adams had a strong 4-week stint with the team, but as Renan alludes, the team wants to go younger at the position. So we'll have to wind up waiting and seeing. Now, also with Adams, all right, Giants have also waived wide receiver Bailey Gaither, who they just got. All right, he failed the physical with the failed physical designation. So now the 2 roster spots, okay, the Giants brought back kicker Ryan Santoso because Graham Gano, all right, had the concussion. So the Giants needed a kicker, so they brought back Santoso. But I mean, Santoso knows that, once Gano comes back, which could be, hopefully for week 1, that Santoso is going to be gone. But, he's putting some stuff on a resume. So, right. So he wants to look good. And the Giants also brought back Travis Toivonen. All right. So that's those are the 2 guys. They let 2 guys go and they brought back the 2 guys. And as I said, they needed a kicker. Okay. But also because Colin Johnson is out for this, and they have to bring in a wide receiver. All right. So, and I said, then you want the Giants very good, very, very thin, and in the tight end position too. I mean, especially after Ricky Seals-Jones and Akins. I mean, they're no longer on the team. Brought those guys in, didn't even make it through training camp. Unbelievable. We signed Tanner Hudson. He was signed Thursday morning. I mean, he was signed Thursday morning and on Thursday, and immediately made his presence felt as he caught the deepest pass of the day against the Jets. Apparently, it was on a broken coverage. All right. But Hudson signed with Tampa Bay after going and drafted in 2018. He spent most of his rookie season on the practice squad and did not appear in a game. Hudson then played in 20 games from 2019 to 2020 and totaled 5 receptions for 67 yards. He also played in a postseason game during the Bucs Super Bowl following the 2020 campaign. So he's got himself a Super Bowl ring. All right. So, and so then we got, let's see, we got obviously Nick Gates and Matt Parrott placed on the injured physical able to perform list, meaning they no longer count toward the 80-man roster. Okay. Gates and Barrett will miss at least the first 4 games of the season. Kind of hoping they'll come back. Yeah, you have to keep your eye on. I don't know what Gates is going to wind up doing, but yeah. So I mean, still a bunch of injuries, and then you got Shane Lemieux unlikely to play for week 1. Let's see. Yeah, Lemieux suffered the injury in the first preseason game against the New England Patriots. He has not practiced since. So I mean, could Lemieux begin the season on IR? Possibly. All right. So, I mean, if he was, they place him on the IR, he'll have to miss the first 4 games of the season. So, I mean, Lemieux is not shown that he's able to stay healthy. And, once again, your best ability is your availability. And Shane Lemieux has shown that he has not been able to stay healthy. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he partially tore his patella in training camp last year. As far as I know, it was a non-contact injury. He went down. It's unbelievable. Guys pretty much go all through college. Okay, play like every snap through college, and they come here and they can't even make it through training camp. It's unbelievable. Doesn't play his preseason game against the first one against the Patriots. Injuries and stuff. So I mean, it is what it is. Makes you really scratch your head how these guys made it through high school, college, but it is what it is. But that's about 30 minutes. Anybody at all, a little bit of time on me, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody who's going to wind up watching this replay at all, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. once again, thank you so much for just spending some time with me. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants.